fuck, I just opened Minecraft.
Make you cry, make you feel inconsolable and uncontrollable rage to the point that you brandish a katana and obliterate your desk, and give you a scare. It's a vast landscape of things both new and old. Your simple mind melts with knowledge. No matter how many years pass and how many changes occur to the internet, there are always three constants in your internet browsing life. Your first time on the internet, the first time you see something that's not safe for work, and creepypasta.
What?
Yes, that's right. No matter where you go on the internet or how far you venture away from the Wikia forums, one thing that will always follow you to every comment section you go is a good creepy story. Good may or may not be an understatement, but some of the writings that surfaced from the depths of the internet's iceberg tended to be on the scary side. You've probably noticed that on my channel I tend to cover a lot of scary games and creepy TV shows and creepy guys, but to start off a new series themed around horror in general on my channel, we're going to cover things that audiences may find a little terrifying. But more on that at the end of the video. Judging by the subject matter and the fact that you clicked on this video knowing what you're getting into from the title and the thumbnail, we're going to investigate the impact, the origins and the fall of the Slender Man. Before we get into the nitty-gritty of the mythos behind Slender Man, we need to look into exactly what the internet was like when he was created. The Slender Man is officially classified as a creepypasta. But what exactly is a creepypasta? In the many years that you've had access to the internet, I'm sure you've encountered a weird message that looks like a threat directed towards you or your loved ones, claiming that you should copy and paste this message to as many people as you can to spread the word, or else there's going to be trouble. Nowadays, you'd probably look at the message and chuck it right in the bin, laughing it off, but you don't have the benefit of hindsight and being older in general. So of course you load all of your friends' Skype histories with that message in particular, which would help to spread the word of the thing that's out to get you. This thing could either be an urban legend or a scheme to get rich quick by sending this quick-witted Nigerian prince some dollar. This is not exclusive to the internet in general, as chain letters have existed for centuries. Caecilius would awaken from his slumber in this stone house and receive a scroll from Daedalus warning about Jeffrey the murderer, and he'd have to spread the word by owl lest he get banished from the realm of the living, the knave! I completely sidetracked. Anyways, on the internet at least, this act was commonly associated with creepypastas. Creepypastas are horror-related images, stories, and urban legends that are made by people on the internet with the intention of scaring readers, with stories tending to use the paranormal in order to keep readers from turning the lights off when they go to bed. Originally, like I said before, creepypastas were made with the intention of being spread across the internet. The term creepypasta comes from the words creepy and copypasta. Coined on 4chan in around 2006, a copypasta is a block of text which is copied and pasted across the internet. This term translated over to creepypastas, where these posts would be short horror stories written anonymously and reposted endlessly. Basically like what Reddit and Twitter is nowadays, but back then the repost still felt fresh and creepy. The origins of creepypastas are still unknown to this day, as the anonymous nature of these writings made it so that the history of the genre itself was difficult to study for budding writers looking to make it in the field. Among the earliest creepypastas were Ted the Caver, for example, made in 2001, which started as a series of blog posts that ended up getting getting creepier and creepier as time went by. The earliest creepypastas were created and posted on the paranormal board on 4chan, and in the late 2000s, websites dedicated to creepypastas started to pop up, such as creepypasta.com and the Creepypasta Wiki, as well as r/nosleep created between 2008 and 2010. In recent times, the definition of creepypasta has shifted from poorly written anecdotes that you copy and paste to random people on the internet, to poorly written anecdotes that are permanently archived on sites across the internet for people to eventually make a video on said story, probably mocking it in the process. It's also shifted from people writing stories anonymously to people making names for themselves in the creepypasta community and leading people to wait for new scary stories to tell in the middle of the day in broad daylight. So now you know the bare minimum about creepypastas. I'll probably make an entire video on them, but I'm not promising anything. I think it's time to talk about how the Slender Man fits into all of this. The year is 2009. The world is officially scheduled to end 3 years from now. Someone's been playing a little too much Plague Inc. and infected the entire cosmos with the swine flu, and Blue Pocahontas from Outer Space is released in cinemas. You wake up, it's a hot summer's morning, and you visit a website which goes by the name of Something Awful. That's the name of the website, it's Something Awful. Can you stop doing that? Jeez. Anyway, Something Awful. Shut the fuck up! Something Awful, also known as SA, is a website that hosts a bunch of stuff like blogs and forums and the like. You look at that website and the subject matter just reeks of 2009. The funniest thing you ever saw on the internet at that time was that one rage comic about troll science mixed in with dreamscape trance music. On the site itself, there's a forum thread which details a Photoshop contest where users are challenged to create paranormal images. You scroll through the thread and you look at some of the images submitted. None of them look too scary, you can probably deal with them. And then you encounter this. It's a post by Eric Knudsen under the pseudonym of Victor Surge. It's a black and white photo of a group of children, but there's something wrong with the image. There seems to be another being in the image, a tall thin figure wearing a black suit. Probably look at that and think that's possibly the most scuffed ad for Hugo Boss that you've ever seen in your life. There's something different about this post as opposed to the other ones that are on the forum thread. Unlike the other submissions to the contest, this post by Surge came with text. Oh, we love a good backstory. The text under the first photo stated that
we didn't want to go. We didn't want to kill them. But it's a persistent silence and outstretched arms horrified us, comforted us at the same time.
Right then, this may be more than what it's cracked up to be. And then there's a second image as well, which also has this tall thin figure in said image. Under this photo, the quote states that
shown on the screen is one of 2 recovered photographs from the Sterling City Library blaze. It is notable for being taken the day which 14 children vanished, and for what is referred to as the Slender Man. The deformities on film are cited as film defects by officials. A fire at the local library occurred 1 week later. The actual photograph was confiscated as evidence.
And now the internet has something new on its hands to blow up out of proportion and make it seem like a much bigger deal than usual. This is just way too spicy to just leave alone in a thread like this to fade into irrelevancy and rot. So posters to the thread decided to expand on the character of the Slender Man, adding their own contributions to the thread, whether it be by text or by visual means. H.P. Lovecraft is cited as one of the main inspirations for the creation of the Slender Man, as well as the work of Zach Parsons, more specifically that Insidious Beast. Also posted on Something Awful, which is an odd set of stories set in a world that's not quite our own. He also based the Slender Man on reports of shadow people sightings and Mothman, among other things. The main goal for the Slender Man, as outlined by Surge, was to make something whose motivations can barely be comprehended, and also cause unease and terror in a general population. This plays into a primal fear a lot of people had when it comes down to it. There's no reasoning with said creature. It's literally evil for no reason. You spent 50 centuries on a sculpture you forgot to save? Well, too bad, you just destroyed the whole thing and there's nothing you can do about it. Immediately after the creation of that thread, the Slender Man went viral. Everyone on the internet flocked to the mythos of Slender Man like moths to a flame. This is where the topic of creepypastas come back into the mix, as the legend of Slender became the basis of many a creepypasta and many a cosplay. After it eventually got separated from its original creator, the Slender Man became the main basis for several stories from multiple different authors that all covered an overarching mythos. From this, the internet starts to get a little feel as to what Slender Man does and why he could be seen as extremely dangerous. First and foremost, the Slender Man is tall. In literature surrounding him, Slender is up to around 15 feet tall. If he was in your house, he'd have to squat down to even be seen as threatening. This is as opposed to in videos and video games where he's depicted as around NBA player height at around 6 to 7 feet tall. So at that height, if you saw him, you'd probably be able to spark him out. In terms of his appearance, he's commonly portrayed as having a completely blank face, devoid of all emotion and staring into your soul until you lose all grasp on reality. While people can probably laugh at this now, a completely blank face staring at you would probably be just a little bit unsettling, wouldn't it? As well as this, he also sports some very long arms, which would do extremely well in a basketball game. Come to think about it, he's the ideal NBA player. Long arms, very tall body, and blank expressionless face that would be great for all the cameras around the arena. Now, if you want to scare people, you have to make sure you're dressed for the occasion, and the Slender Man makes sure he is with a bespoke suit that can only fit him and his long arms, ensuring that he's well dressed for your funeral. From all of this, you may be wondering how or why he likes to torture people and why he's seen as very dangerous. Well, the why I can't answer, and I don't think anyone can, no matter how many pieces of headcanon you create to try and justify your Slendy fanfiction. The how I can most certainly answer though. In most if not every adaptation of Slender, the titular character is known to stalk its prey for days, weeks, months, years on end, until they eventually cave into their own sanity, unable to cope with the situation that they found themselves in while he watches from afar.
I just did 26 to 100 again.
Close to the Slender Man is said to trigger what's known as Slender Sickness, which is a rapid onset of paranoia, nightmares, and delusions that are also accompanied by nosebleeds. So Slender is pretty much your teacher calling you up to give a presentation about video games to your entire class. This wasn't always the case, however, as the previous entries for what Slender's behavior was like were much more extreme. Originally, Slender Man was portrayed as being extremely dangerous, in that he would stalk his targets, impale them on trees, and remove their organs. That was just a little bit too extreme, so his behavior was tweaked and fixed as the passive-aggressive programming he has today. One other important aspect of the Slender Man that has always stayed the same since his very beginnings was his ability to distort and cause major interference with audio and visual recording devices, which in turn would lead into one of the most iconic sounds associated with the Slender Man introduced into the games, which I'll get into later. Back on the Something Awful thread, a post was made by a username called Cigars. This post was concerning a friend that he had in film school called Alex, who was having issues shooting his very first feature-length project. While he was shooting the film, he was experiencing weird happenings that he couldn't explain. The feature-length project in question was known as Marble Hornets, and the video series was published as an ARG on both YouTube and Twitter, using both platforms to document the filmer's experience with the Slender Man. Inspired by the Slender Man mythos, Marble Hornets began on the 20th of June 2009. One day after the Something Awful post. On an initial budget of just $500, the two original creators, Troy Wagner and Joseph DeLarge, set out to create this web series, with realism being the intention. As opposed to having the episodes released on a schedule, both of them decided to post each of the episodes at random lengths and at random times. Marble Hornets was written, directed, and starring the two as the main characters, and followed Jay, a man who makes an attempt to find out what happened during the filming of Alex's film, Marble Hornets, that caused him to end the project abruptly after only 2 months of production. The web series used YouTube to its advantage, as the found footage nature of the channel led people to believe that the events of the series were real, with people drawing comparisons to Lonely Girl 15 for its realism and it being a more effective horror film series than what was available at the time. As of writing this video, there are 92 videos on the main channel, 87 of which are main entries to the series, and they are linked with videos on another channel known as To The Ark, a channel that uploaded cryptic videos that played a hand in...
I'm kind of bored.
Honestly, I don't find this guy funny.
makeup or?
Put it on. I'm trying to find something and I can't.
Honey, are you sure?
Yes. Unless you want me to put a Pyrocynical video on.
You know what? Have you ever seen the piece of Casey Anthony?
No. But you're muted.
Bitch. She is like one of the most hated women of America.
Oh. Cool. Sure.
Did you miss me? Good. I missed you. Hi friends, how's it going today? I hope you're having a wonderful February 1st.
Also free
Yes.
demons. I know lots of these demons.
I am
Nah,
so
honestly.
excited to be back. I am
These demons are boring.
here. Hi, my name is Bailey
Unless
Sarian,
it's like
and
white-
today
white
is
space.
Monday, which
Or like
means
good easy
it's
demons, but
murder,
I've been all the good easy
mystery,
ones.
and makeup.
Hmm.
Monday. Shana, 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 shana.
That's literally.
If you are new here, hi.
Hold on.
Bailey Sarian, and on Mondays I said Monday. Shana, shana.
Let it die.
Shana,
Let it die.
shana,
Let it
shana,
shrivel
shana.
up and.
If you are new here, hi.
It's-
My
It's
name
the
is
same
Bailey
song.
Sarian, and on Mondays
What? Does it matter?
No. I'm just pointing it out.
No?
I'm just pointing. I'm not.
So
What?
then, why is there a stick in your butt right now? There's a giant stick in your
What are
butt
you
right now.
talking about? I'm literally just pointing out that they're the same song, the same rhythm.
With a stick in your ass. Get it out.
It's just poking in because it's so long sticking out of yours.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Whatever.
I sit down and I talk about a true crime story that's been heavy on my
Oh,
noggin,
you beat you into
and
Jizzy
I
again
do
or
my
what?
makeup at the
Uh-huh.
same time. If you're interested in true crime and you like makeup,
Actually, you want to play
I would highly suggest
CCG
you
again?
subscribe because
I'm down.
I'm here for you on Mondays.
Let me literally get on my
minus
phone.
last month.
Oh,
Hey,
this
up
isn't long
top.
enough, huh?
So I am
It's
so
okay.
happy to be back. Sorry I disappeared
Gamer.
on you. You see, if you don't care about this, you could skip. But here's what was going on. I took the end of December off because I felt like, for one, it was the holidays, and two, 2020 was just kind of just a lot. It was a lot, right? It was a lot, and I just needed a break. I just needed a break. Oh, I just needed a break, just from everything, not just from here, from every just a break. So I got a break, and then last month, for the month of January, I was already planning to take it off. I just didn't get to announce it. But January, I spent January researching. I hired some extra help when it comes to researching. Hi, Courtney. She's incredible.
I'm gonna restart the stream.
When it comes
Uh,
to